Hello, everyone. In this session, we explore one of the most essential tools in managerial economics, present value and net present value, and understand how managers use these concepts to make smarter financial decisions. Whether the question involves investing in a new project, choosing between buying or leasing equipment, or deciding if production should be done in house or outsourced, the core challenge remains the same: comparing the value of money today with the value of money in the future. Today's discussion will help you grasp that comparison and apply it effectively. By the end of this session, you will be able to use present value calculations in a real managerial choices, understand how taxes, depreciation, risk, and salvage value influence investment outcomes, evaluate make versus buy decisions, and apply net present value, also called NPV, NPV, to identify and select the most profitable opportunities. Why present value matters? Let's understand this by starting with a simple but powerful idea. $1 today is worth more than $1 in the future because it can be invested. It can earn interest and it carries less risk and uncertainty. From this foundation emerge two essential concepts. First, future value, which tells us what today's money will grow into over time. And second, present value, which helps managers determine what future money is worth today. Understanding these ideas allows us to evaluate investments more intelligently. For example, knowing that $1,000 invested at 10% becomes 1,100 in a year, or re or recognizing that $300,000 received 4 years from now has a lower value in the present. The key insight is that higher interest rates and longer time periods both reduce present value, a process known as discounting. And mastering this concept is crucial for making sound managerial and financial decisions. Here we connect present value to real world decision making through the concept of net present value, NPV, which measures whether an investment creates value today by comparing the present value of its benefits with the present value of its costs. The decision rule is straightforward. If NPV is greater than zero, the project should be accepted. I repeat, if NPV is greater than zero, the project should be accepted. And if it is less than zero, it should be rejected. At its core, NPV asks a simple managerial question: is this investment adding value right now? and helps translate future cash flows into today's terms. For example, if a project requires an investment of $1 million today, but its discounted future profits amount to $1.3 million, the resulting NPV of plus $300,000 signals that the project is financially worthwhile and should be accepted. In real world capital budgeting, decisions become more complex because several practical factors influence the value of a project. Starting with the salvage value, the amount an asset is worth at the end of its life, which may be positive if it can be resold, or negative if cleanup or disposable if or disposal costs are involved. Taxes also play a major role here, since higher taxes reduce profits and therefore lower NPV, making it essential to evaluate all cash flows on an after tax basis. Depreciation further affects decisions by reducing taxable income and creating a tax shield, which is why managers often prefer faster depreciation methods to increase NPV. Another important insight is that the source of financing, whether debt or equity, does not change the project's intrinsic value, because NPV depends solely on the project's cash flows, not on how it is funded. Remember that, not on how it is funded. Risk adds another layer of complexity, as the uncertainty of future outcomes and uncertainty of the future outcomes requires managers to either increase the discount rate for higher risk projects or adjust expected cash flows to reflect potential variability. To handle these uncertainties, managers rely on sensitivity analysis to test how changes in key assumptions might affect project outcomes and to better understand the robustness of their decisions. In applying these concepts to real managerial choices, one of the most common questions is whether a firm should make a product in house or buy it from outside supplier. A decision that ultimately depends on comparing the present value of all relevant costs and associated benefits. Managers must consider factors such as economies of scale, transportation expenses, quality control, and the reliability of contracts before deciding which option creates greater value. For example, when a company evaluates whether to produce containers internally or outsource the work, it must estimate equipment costs, the expected life of that equipment, output levels, and potential salvage value, and then calculate the NPV of both alternatives. The option with the lower present value of costs or a higher overall value becomes the financially superior choice, allowing managers to make decisions grounded in rigorous economic reasoning rather than intuition alone. In bringing all these ideas together, managerial economics emphasizes a simple profit maximization rule. What is it? It is stated like this: firms should accept only those projects that have a positive net present value, because such projects add value today. This principle leads to several strategic insights: accelerating profits and delaying costs both increase NPV. Depreciation can be used to reduce taxable income, and every major decision must be evaluated across time rather than in isolation. In practice, this means that investments, expansions, outsourcing choices, and other long term commitments should always be assessed through the lens of NPV to ensure that they contribute to the firm's financial strength. Ultimately, present value helps managers compare money across different points in time. Net present value guides them towards making better decisions, and thoughtful consideration of risks, taxes, depreciation, and future uncertainty ensures that choices are grounded in economic reality. The overarching goal remains straightforward: make decisions that maximize value today. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you for watching. All the best.